Steep cliffs, small bays, and a very unique climate. A place where you can sit on the beach in the morning and enjoy the mountains in the afternoon. That is what the Costa Tropical is known for. My name is Juan, and today I'm going to take you to the beautiful town of Almuñécar, which is totally underrated and also quite different from the rest of the Andalusian coastal towns. The Costa Tropical is located in the south of Spain, on the Mediterranean coast of the province Granada, between Málaga in the west and Almería in the east. What makes Almuñécar special is above all its diversity. Two very large beaches with crystal clear water, sometimes calm, sometimes with a bit of movement, and in between or further out smaller coves again and again and again. That gives the coastline its own rhythm set between rather mountainous surroundings. The central beach is Playa San Cristobal, right along the promenade with restaurants, cafes and plenty of life. A bit further east you will find Playa Puerta del Mar, Playa Villa, but both are very easy to access, but usually a bit more relaxed. What's special here is that you can park really well at every beach, and right at the two main beaches there's even underground parking beneath the promenade with direct access to the beach. Perfect. The whole town actually stretches across several bays and also extends in the other direction towards Cerro Gordo and La Herradura. What is always present here is a direct transition into the hinterland, which is very mountainous. Right behind the coast, the hills begin and later the mountains. This not only creates variety in the landscape but also a very pleasant and unique climate, and that's also reflected a bit in the cuisine. This region is of course strongly shaped by the sea, but also avocados and chirimoyas and more found in the markets here, because they grow here almost naturally. We have tropical climate here. Fish and seafood as mentioned play a central role, but don't worry if that's not your thing, you will still be fine here, no problem, if you communicate it openly. Many restaurants are located along the promenade or with views of the water, just like in the old town. That's simply part of it. Personally, I think some of these so-called chiringuitos often mostly live off their location and sometimes don't offer great service nor great food, so always check Google reviews. That's something people in Spain really rely on and use pretty well. Otherwise, you can eat pretty well in Almuñécar. Despite its manageable size, the town is very well developed in terms of infrastructure. There's basically nothing missing you would need in a longer holiday. It's really this mix that makes a place so interesting. Small enough to quickly find your way around, not too crowded but large enough that nothing is missing. In the summer of course it gets much busier. The water park is also open during summer, but it's seasonal and closed in winter. It's right by the coast and especially fun for kids. It adds some variety. Many people come here year after year. Of course, there are also Germans, English and others, but mostly Spanish people. It's definitely not a place defined by a single highlight, but rather by the overall experience. And you can truly feel very comfortable here for a long time, and maybe that's exactly why so many people keep coming back. And what really defines Almuñécar becomes clear quite quickly when you move a bit through the town. The history here is visible everywhere and goes back much further than you might expect at first glance. Even the ancient Phoenicians settled here and called the place Sexi, a name that still lives on today, for example in the term of Sexitano, which is what the locals still call themselves sometimes. Back then, Almuñécar was already an important location along the Mediterranean coast, mainly due to its position and access to the sea. With the Romans later, this importance increased even further. The town developed into one of the most important places in the region, especially for fish processing. Garum was produced here as a fish sauce that was considered a true delicacy in the Roman Empire and traded far beyond the region. A visible remnant of this time is the Roman aqueduct. What you see today are several sections spread across the town and surrounding areas, fragments of a much larger system that once ensured the water supply. This also shows how important the town was back at the time. It was much more than just a small coastal town. Above the town lies the already mentioned Castillo de San Miguel, strategically placed with a view over the entire coastline. From here you can clearly see how Almuñécar is structured. Not really planned, but rather organically grown over many centuries. The old town stretches up the hillside with narrow streets, small squares and many changes in elevation. From one of the squares you will also find a small church. From the outside it looks rather modest, even if nicely lit and recognizable as a church, but inside it has much more to offer. And it's also over 400 years old. Not far from the old town lies El Parque de Majuelo, one of the central places in Almuñécar. Today it's a park, a small botanical garden, a cultural center and an event location all in one. Concerts and events are regularly held here. Between the palm trees you can also find the remains of an old fish salting basins, a reminder that fish processing already played an important role here in the Roman times, as mentioned before. From here it's only a short walk to the promenade and to the Peñón de San Cristobal, passing the statue of Abdul al-Rahman, one of the influential rulers of Al-Andalus. This is also where the path up to the rock begins. The Peñón itself divides Almuñécar in two sides. There are beaches on both of those and the town has grown around it over the centuries. At the top stands a cross which is even illuminated during night times, and the climb is free and you can usually go up to until around 11 PM. From the top you get an amazing view of the entire town, the mountains in the background, the sea in front, the coastline and the many bars that line up along it. This coastline is also perfect for diving, especially around Herradura, with clear water, rocks and protected areas. There are diving schools and everything you need. There's really something for everyone here. And it doesn't stop here. If you look at the area within a day trip radius around Almuñécar, you will find a lot more. It's a perfect base to explore the entire region. To the west, depending on how far you want to go, you will find Málaga, the largest city in the region with an international airport, a wide cultural offering, but also a much faster paced environment than here. Closer by you have Nerja and Frigiliana, which are among the last towns of the Costa del Sol before Costa Tropical begins. It's only about 20 minutes away from Almuñécar. Both are super beautiful, but also more well known and more visited, so there are a lot more tourists and it's kind of overrun in the summer times. While still shaped by steep cliffs and small bays, here the real mountain area begins. There isn't a hard cut between these places and Almuñécar, it's more of a smooth transition along the coast with many small coves and beaches. To the east, things get noticeably quieter. Salobreña is about 15 to 20 minutes away, a white village by the sea with its own castle on a hill, larger than the one in Almuñécar, but also a bit harder to access. From there you will have a fantastic view over the coastline and even clear views toward the Sierra Nevada. You will also have a view towards the port city of Motril, which feels a bit rougher, more like a working class town. It has a harbor and even a small suspension bridge nearby, but it's only really worth visiting if you're already in the area. The beaches there are fine as well. One of the most special places nearby is of course the Alhambra in Granada. Located inland at the foot of the Sierra Nevada, one of the most visited landmarks in Spain or even Europe. I made a video about that as well. From Almuñécar it only takes about 50 minutes to get there. Granada itself, with its old town and many sites, is also worth a visit, and as I said, there's a separate video about it. It's a perfect day trip or even worth staying 2 days if you want, so it's a complete contrast to the coast and only about an hour away. In between you also have the Alpujarra, perfect if you enjoy hiking and nature. There are many hiking and biking routes, small villages and even places like the so-called Witch Village, and in winter you can even go skiing in the Sierra Nevada and then be back at the Mediterranean an hour later. That's something you really don't find in many places. It's truly impressive. And this proximity between coast, city and mountains is what makes this region so special. You have a small town that works perfectly on its own as a holiday destination for several days or weeks, but at the same time it gives you access to everything the region has to offer. Bigger cities, smaller villages, hiking routes, culture, biking routes, diving, boating, surfing, jet skiing, everything is within reach. That's really, really strong. And Almuñécar is not a place that really pushes itself onto you, but if you stay a bit longer you quickly understand why so many people keep coming back year after year. For me it's a very special place and I hope this video gave you a good impression of it. You will find more information in the description below, and if you ever come here yourself, I really hope you enjoy your time here in Almuñécar and on the Costa Tropical.